and associated vegetation are not of great intrinsic conservation value. However, this is in Whitstable. It's in an urban environment. It's the best we've got. With the precious little space that we have, and it all forms very important wildlife corridor between areas of more valuable conservation status. Also, any wild space like this and its wildlife at the back of people's gardens has an educational value and forms a connection with nature, giving a well-documented but immeasurable feel-good factor, for want of a better expression. Regarding the associated wildlife, and birds in particular, last Thursday I just did a very quick stroll, just to try and just roughly assess, very approximately, how many pairs of birds were attempting to breed between Oxford Street and High Street, between the station and Oxford Street. There were 42 birds showing intention to breed. Identified 11 species, including 2 RSPB red list species. The RSPB has 3 lists. The red list is the ones of most conservation concern. They've declined in numbers. Andy Malone, a former RSPB employee who's taught ornithology at adult education level, is a regular contributor to Kent Bird Report and British Bird Magazine with many years' experience of bird censoring. In other words, he knows what he's talking about. It's not, he lives at the back of Cromwell Road. He's kept a detailed record of these bird species he's seen here over the last 15 years. He estimates on average about 50 pairs breed over a season along this particular stretch. And he's identified 17 different species, including 3 red list species.
So can you tell us what those red list species are?
I got song thrush, starling, and the house sparrow. But house sparrow and starling sounds common. They are common, but they've declined drastically, so they're on the red list. Right, also, here on the am I running? I'll do this as quickly. Here on the southeast coast is often the first landfall for migrating birds via the continent, and any trees form a valuable roost to exhausted birds. And Andy tells me he's also noted some migrants of considerable conservation interest in these trees, such as, I don't know how well you know your birds, but firecrest, goldcrest, pied flycatcher, redstart, yellow-browed warbler, bullfinch, waxwing, some pretty good stuff. These trees also form an overwintering roost for around 200 starling, and a couple of autumns ago, a long-eared owl, of all things. In addition, the embankment provides cover for stag beetle, considered to be globally threatened, protected under Schedule 5 of the Wildlife and Countryside Act, and listed as the priority species for the UK Biodiversity Action Plans, or BAP as it's known. Slow worms have been seen, again protected under Schedule 5 and national and local BAP species. Yeah. Hummingbird hawk moth, convolvulus hawk moth have been seen, purple hair streak and white admiral butterflies have been seen in the past 2 years, which raises the possibility they may be colonising the area from nearby sites. Again, all species of conservation interest, considerable conservation interest. So while the trees are probably too young to be attractive as bat roosts, sheltered linear structures such as tree-lined railway form perfect foraging areas. And I'm sure some of you have seen pipistrelle bats hunting along here during the summer. The very few bits of remaining woodland like this are the best we've got in Whitstable, and from an ecology point of view, this strip of woodland is far more valuable than it at first appears. Well, I'm sure everyone agrees that rail safety is paramount. If trees must be felled, as little and as absolutely necessary must be, and it must be undertaken in a sensitive and informed way, so we have as little impact as possible on ecology. And while I've got the soapbox, if you don't mind, just some questions I personally will like to ask. Part of Network Rail's mission statement reads, or your commitment, protecting the environment, exceeding expectations of the public, being recognised as good corporate citizens. Great stuff. So with your mission statement in mind, could we please have a copy of the EIA you stated has been undertaken? If this really is impossible, can we be told when the field work was undertaken, the methodology used, and by whom? You've got to be able to give us that. Also, and probably the most important question to me personally, is why now? Right in the middle of the breeding bird season.
Yeah.
No other project I've worked on of a similar nature, and I've worked on a lot, has got this sort of exclusion from Part 1 of the countryside, Wildlife Countryside Act. Any wood clearance has been halted from April to August. He also claimed that no nests are destroyed, because the area is checked for nests at the beginning of each day before felling operations begin. I've been doing breeding bird surveys for many years, and without literally going through every bramble and branch with a tooth comb for days, I wouldn't expect to find a fraction of the nests present in this sort of habitat.
Yeah.
So can you give me the credentials of those who undertook these nest surveys? Because I don't
Not
do my
just
job.
that you've got birds in your garden.
That's it.